grass was motionless.
"I've explained why this has to be. Why act so contrary when we've been friends for so long?"
The grass rippled, and one of them scuttled toward him, growling.
"Consarn it!"
Methuselah cried. He slapped his heels against the sorrel and gave a sharp tug on the lead rope. He tried not to dwell on the consequences if they caught him. He knew how they were. He used his heels again with vigor. All around him the grass moved. Methuselah glimpsed his pursuers. How they could run like that was beyond his fathoming. In so many ways they were different from everyone and everything. One of them lunged at the pack-horse, but the horse was moving too fast. Methuselah tucked low and rode for his life. The valley narrowed. Ahead was a cliff, a seemingly solid wall of rock, too sheer to climb. He made straight for it. From out of the grass in front of him rose another. A sharp tug on the reins, and Methuselah shot by. He braced for the impact of its body on his back, but it didn't pounce. Then he was at the cliff, and to all appearances about to smash into it. The cliff face swallowed him and the two horses, and the thunder of hooves faded. Behind him, the grass stopped moving. The figure that had barred his path melted away. Methuselah burst out the other side of the notch. He went a short distance and reined up, and wheeled the sorrel. On this side was another cliff, as sheer as the other.
"Why,"
he said to the unresponsive stone,
"why did you have to go and do that?"
A great sadness fell over Methuselah as he turned down the mountain. It was a mile before the sorrow left him, and he smiled slightly and said,
"Look out, world! Here I come!"
Chapter 2. King Valley lived up to its name. Sculpted as if by an artist, it had everything a frontiersman could ask for. A lake and the mountain streams that fed it provided plenty of water. Grass for grazing covered much of the valley floor. A variety of thick timber grew on the facing slopes. Game was abundant, so much so it was rare for any of the valley's inhabitants to spend more than a few hours hunting. Fish and waterfowl thrived. Shakespeare McNair had never beheld a valley so grand, and he was the oldest living white man in the Rocky Mountains. He had come west before the fur trappers, drawn by an indefinable urge to explore the vast unknown. Now, decades later, he had seen most everything the mountains had to offer, and he was as versed in the ways of the wilderness as any man alive. On this particular sunny morning, Shakespeare was strolling along the lake with his hawken in the crook of his elbow. As ever, he was clad in buckskins, with an ammo pouch, a powder horn, and his possibles bag crisscrossing his chest. A pair of pistols was tucked under his leather belt, a Green River knife sheathed at his waist. Every now and again, Shakespeare felt a twinge of pain in his left hip, but he ignored it and concentrated on the beauty of the day. He breathed deep of the breeze that stirred his long beard. Both the beard and his hair were as white as the snow that capped several of the mile-high peaks. A fish leaped and splashed down. Ducks quacked and a goose honked. To the south a bald eagle soared. To the north a pair of ravens. A doe and her young ones gazed at the edge of the woodland, and higher up an elk bugled.
"The wonder of it all,"
Shakespeare said to the world at large. He touched a hand to his hip. Then he noticed someone ahead, and his mouth quirked in a grin. Nate King wore the same style of buckskins and was similarly